Hi, I'm Jo and I'm a textile artist from Worcestershire, and for this day's creative I'm going to be making a handbag out of an old skirt. So to start with, the first thing we're going to do is measure down, and we're going to cut the bottom of the skirt off. You can do this at whatever length you want, and then we're just going to draw a straight line straight across. Then this skirt has a lining as well, and I'm just going to cut through the whole lot straight across. Okay, so all of this fabric that we've cut off we're going to use again in a little while. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sew right sides together the bottom of the skirt, and if you put the pins in this way round, then should a pin get anywhere near the needle should just slide off the pin. Okay, now we're going to do the same on the lining side. Now we're going to sew straight the way across the skirt side, but on the lining side we're going to leave a space in the middle so that we can turn it through. So just using a domestic sewing machine on a straight stitch, we're going to make a seam that goes all the way across. Okay, so that's the skirt side done. Just reverse over it to secure the ends. Okay, so now that we've sewn both sides, we've sewn the skirt and the lining, we're going to square off the corners, which just gives the bag a little bit of a better shape on the bottom. So to do this, we fold the corner diagonally, and you can feel the two seams between your fingers to make sure they line up, and then we put a pin in. Okay, and then we're going to quickly draw some lines across so that they're all the same size. Okay, so that's all four corners done, and now we're going to stitch across all of those lines. And just a little bit of reverse stitch at the start and finish to secure the stitches. So that's the two linings, and now we'll just flip it over to do the skirt. We take the fabric that we cut from the bottom of the skirt and we're going to make the handles. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the webbing as a strengthener, and it will go onto the opposite side of the skirt fabric. Measure two pieces of fabric that's 2 centimetres wider than the webbing. It's going to be approximately 5 centimetres. Okay, and there's two. Press approximately a 1 centimetre hem on each side. We've pressed the 1 centimetre seam over, pin the webbing or the ribbon, whichever you've used, onto the back. So that's both handles, and I've made sure they're both the same length. And then what we're going to do is just top stitch down each side in order to secure the webbing on. A straight stitch running down each side. Because I put the pins right in the middle, I can just run it down without having to take them out. If you make the bobbin threads in an ivory colour to match the webbing, or else in a colour to match your ribbon, then it won't be seen so much. Okay, so that's the first one done, and I'm going to do exactly the same with the second one. The next thing we need to do is to add on the magnetic snap. These are really easy to add in. All you need to do is mark the centre of the top of the bag, and then you make a little mark on the inside where you're going to put it. Then taking the little silver disc pop that on the mark. Just make 2 little cuts through the fabric. Okay, now you need to pop your hand inside so you can feel the inside. And the 2 prongs are going to go through those 2 little holes you've just cut. Just push it in. Pop the disc on the inside and then spread the wings out like that, and you've got your magnetic popper attached. I've already attached the back, and then that's going to secure your bag. So using our magnetic snap as the centre point, we're just going to measure however far out you want to. So I'm going to do them at 9 centimetres from the centre of the snap. Then on the inside, you're going to just drop it inside the bag, about 1 inch, just to give it some stability, like so. So that will be our one handle on the bag. Then to get the other one on exactly the same place, I measure it against the one I've already put on. And now we're going to stitch those on. So if you start at the top and just do 1 row of stitches across, just to hold it in place. And if you go from outside of the bag handle and go across the handle onto the other side, it will make sure it stays secure. Okay, so now we're going to sew the handles on to the bag. And the first stitch I'm going to do is straight across the top in order to secure it. So again, reverse stitching at each end to make sure that the threads don't come undone. So we have just sewn the handles on. As you can see, all 4 are now stitched on. And a little while ago, we put the magnetic snap in. So now the bag is pretty much finished, but I just wanted to add a couple of embellishments. So I was going to add some buttons, which have been made out of the remainder of the fabric. So 1 button's done there. This is the second one, a cover it yourself button that you can get from any haberdashery. And you cut a circle of fabric that's just a bit bigger than the button. So a running stitch all the way around the edge of it and pull it through, and then you're going to put the top of the button in the middle and then pull up the thread. Then you take the bottom half of the button, push it over the little hole, and then you literally push it down and click it into place. And so these are the original pockets that were in the skirt. I've made use of them. You could of course use some extra fabric and just put something like a simple patch pocket on. Cut the thread. And then the only other thing I've added onto this is on the inside of the pocket I've put a little popper which sits under the button, so that if you put something in there it doesn't fly out. One final bit to do, and that is going back to the inside of your bag, and we need to gather the hole that we made in the lining, like so. Now when I do them, I always slip stitch this closed so you can't see it. But if you don't like slip stitching or you don't like hand stitching, you could machine stitch across the top. There you have your bag ready to go.